Number 4 is a quad. My understanding is people typically tie their quad with a 180 sling, like a 180 centimeter sling. I only have a 240 here, so that's what I'm going to tie mine with. You have it double backed, and then you would go to one end, and you tie an overhand knot. It's called a limiter knot, if you want to get all technical about it, on one end, and then I try and keep it flat if I can through all of this. And keep the stitching out of the knots. I'm going to tie another knot. The prettier they are, the easier they will be to undo. And then you would clip these in. So now you have a quad, and basically this is 4 strands in the middle here. In multi-pitching, they would often, I'm not even going to talk about multi-pitch. I keep wanting to, but we're talking about single pitch. So single pitch, it's really great because this is self-equalizing. I'm going to show you it with carabiners on. So we've got our double-backed 240 or 180, and 2 overhands here to be limiter knots, and that allows us to have a lot of strands in here that are redundant. Now you can either clip 2 and 2, 2 strands and 2 strands, or you can clip both of them on 3 strands. And the reason why we would do it that way, just use your imagination. If you were to cut any one strand, then you would still be safe because you have other ones. The benefits of the 2 and 2 in a single pitch scenario isn't much. In a multi-pitch scenario, then it can be beneficial because your friend can be climbing on that, but your personal anchor's here. But we're talking about single pitch. Whether it's 2 and 2 or 3, doesn't really matter for single pitch climbing. But I still want these carabiners to be opposite and opposed. So when they're loaded, the locking mechanisms are the opposite. And that's a quad. It's self-equalizing, which is really great. A lot of people have these pre-tied on their harness and they'll climb up and just clip them in. The only limitations I could see with that is if you had anchors that were so far offset that, you know, I mean, this isn't even far enough, but if you had a 180, if it was down here, then it's all loaded on the knot, and that puts all the weight on the other one. As well as if you have anchors that are really far apart. I mean, this is a 240, so it's hard to get too far apart, but that's the only other time where you might have a big angle. The other cons are, if you just know how to do this anchor, then you might not be able to extend longer anchors like I did with the cordlet. It's pretty burly and takes up a lot of space on the harness, but it's a super solid anchor. And I think a lot of people are being taught this now for their first anchor because they can go up and set this up, and it's pretty versatile for many scenarios. So there's lots of videos on the internet on those, but hopefully double it back, tie 2 limiter knots, and when you clip 2 and 2 or both on 3. Game on. That's a popular one.